Adrian's Action, My Personal OD and C Method by Adrian Bradley. How often do we hear people say, we should have a more vibrant downtown? Or why is United Way doing that? It doesn't make sense. Or why would the Knight Foundation fund that idea? I'm not sure. Adrian's Action allows all stakeholders to come to the table and contribute thinking to a fully embraced plan. This plan will actually be completed from beginning to end, not just an idea or a project that was started and didn't finish, or even worse, a project that ran out of funding. Adrian's Action is a conversational process that brings communities together to transform ideas into action. This method brings a variety of individuals to the table to share projects and ideas, grow them and enhance them, and bring them to life. This method helps many people from many different perspectives. Adrian's Action incorporates funders, project callers, community members, and nonprofit organizations into a three-phase, three-round project plan. As a community organization, it's allowing buy-in from not only community members, but from foundations, where the money's at. As a project caller, this is a place for a project caller to put their project in front of a funder or an organization and allow them to build upon their idea, discuss where it fits within the community, and even if the idea is currently being done. As a foundation, this could be a new platform for how foundations fund grant recipients. It could also be a place where the recipients of their funding come to vet, grow, and put their grant into practice. As a community member, this allows individuals to volunteer their skill set and have a voice at the table. Using this method will bring communities together, allow foundation projects to be executed, and funding to go farther, and for duplications of services within communities to stop. The benefits of this methodology are infinite. Everyone involved is benefiting from being part of such a well-thought-out process. The project caller is receiving help and assistance with their project, foundation buy-in, additional resources, funding, and a real thought-out process to project execution. The foundations are able to vet grant ideas, establish a new funding platform, and minimize their funding error. Nonprofits are enhancing their donor base by engaging new individuals, cutting down on duplications of service, and helping to control the community climate. Individual community members finally have a seat at the table. They are truly connecting to their community and have the ability to have their voice be heard. And lastly, all of these groups are building relationships, collaborating, gaining community cohesiveness, and have the ability to be a part of a very sustainable project. This method takes a strategic approach of combining community weaving, charrettes, and ProAction Cafe, and invites foundations, grant recipients, and community members, and community organizations. Community weaving is an approach used for collaborating among individuals, organizations, and systems. It is also used to help identify assets and resources within the community. The importance of interlacing community weaving throughout this method is to allow space for any community member to contribute to a project in their own way and build and bridge social and human capital. The ProAction Cafe is a methodology for creative and inspirational conversation where participants are invited to share their questions around projects and get input from others to help them move from question to action. The original concept of ProAction Cafe is a blend of World Cafe and open space technology. The importance of weaving ProAction Cafe into the structure of planned meetings with an end goal of an executed project. A charrette is an intensive planning session where citizens, designers, and others collaborate on a vision for development. The importance of bringing pieces of the charrette design to this method provides a place and time to involve ideas and unique feedback from a designer constituency. This is a voice that is not often heard from in the beginning stages when working with grassroots civic projects. Bringing a combination of these three methods together forms Adrian's Action. This method takes place over 3 phases with 3 rounds each of different questions in each phase. This meeting takes place in the span of 12 to 3 months. The amount of participants depends on the amount of projects divided by 4. For example, if you have 40 participants, you can have a minimum 10 project callers with projects. Each separate meeting is divided into phases. The phases are number 1, bringing project to life, number 2, design the project, and number 3, execution of the project. Phase 1, bring the project to life. In this meeting, the project caller is bringing their idea to the attendees of the event. There are 3 rounds of questions and everyone moves after each question, very similar to a World Cafe. The first question, what is the quest behind the project? This question is to deepen the need and purpose of the project. The second question, what is missing? This question explores what can make this project more complete and possible. Who needs to be involved? Are there any fundraising needs? Is there any community space that might be needed? And question 3, what am I learning about myself and my community? This question discusses if the community and everyone involved are excited around this project. Is the project currently being done? And who can help and how? The purpose of meeting 1 is to put your project out into the world and receive feedback from community members, organizations, and funders. Gaining this information will allow the project caller to truly think about the project and its viability. If this is something they would like to move forward with, they now have a start to a process map that they can move forth with. This list should be tackled or at least started prior to coming to the next meeting for a status update and the ability to move forward into the next phase. The follow-through in this method is the continuous phases. The call of the project has work to be done between each meeting. Participants can help or just contribute ideas. It's up for them to decide. Phase 2, designing the project. In this meeting, the project caller is allowing participants to contribute to designing the project and creating steps towards execution. Everyone from the original phase is involved, along with others who may have wanted to attend. This meeting has the same format as phase 1, as there are still 3 rounds of questions and everyone moves after each question. Question number 1 is how can we help or who should be involved? This question discusses who needs to be included in the project. Are there specific people or organizations that the project caller should be working with? Question number 2 is what key events need to take place or happen? What needs to happen in order to move the project forward? Did anyone get missed in phase 1? What steps should the project caller make sure are happening? And question 3, how do we execute? Now that a lot of steps have been outlined in the previous question, what does execution look like and what are other thoughts around making this project a success? Asking inclusive questions gives the participants a sense of ownership as they help and continue to build this project. The outcomes of this phase is to gain more clarity around the project and design a shell of how the project will be executed. Again, the outcomes of the questions will drive the project caller to continue to move the work forward after phase 2. Phase 3, executing the project. In this meeting, the project caller is allowing the participants to help execute the project. Everyone from the original 2 phases are involved, along with anyone who might have been named in the last phase who can contribute to the movement of the project. In this round, you will want to welcome individuals who were mentioned in round 2 regarding who we need at the table. Question 1, what has been successful? How can we capitalize on opportunities? In this step, the project caller will discuss what has been successful and gain feedback on what additional opportunities are and how they can be capitalized on. Question 2, what has been successful? How can we improve and where are we stuck? The project caller will discuss what has been unsuccessful and discuss what participants' ways to re-strategize or get unstuck. And question 3, how do we re-execute? This question is to determine if the project caller has continued to stay on the right path. Do we need to look at any other ways to strategize? Or can the project caller continue to move forward and finalize who needs to be involved and what needs to be done? Is there anyone from phase 3 who might want to contribute on the execution of the project as well? The outcome of the final phase is to have a project plan that is ready, if not extremely close to project execution. This is a stage where the project caller should have enough information and knowledge to know that the project will be successful. A big contributing factor to this method is a follow-through that is weaved throughout and in the continuous phases. All phases will take place at structured events, but it's up to the project caller to make sure steps are being completed in between phases and the work is being done. This can be done with or without the help of the other constituency groups who are in attendance of the event. They can help build and create the project, or they can just help create it. Tuckman's model. The premise of this method was based off of Tuckman's teamwork theory. One of the most frequently cited models of group development is Tuckman's forming, storming, norming, and performing model. As it described the 4 linear stages that a group will go through to make a decision and execute a project. This is important to Adrian's action as the main premise of this model is making decisions as a community with an end goal of project execution. Tuckman's model will be referenced throughout the 3 phases to make sure we're staying on the same path and that decisions are being made and things are being executed. Guiding principles help guide this method from start to finish. Should there be questions of irrespective of change throughout the process, we will always be able to come back to our guiding principles. The guiding principles of Adrian's Action are listen to, understand, and contribute. If you are here, you are the right person. Bring value in listening to understand what other participants are sharing. Listen. While there may be others who are missing, those that are present should always be here. Embrace and welcome everyone. Always ask, how can I help? Asking what more you can do or be bringing to the group. In what ways are you contributing? And then lastly, together we know more. When it comes to community, together we know more. Bringing your collective community knowledge and building off conversation that is taking place throughout the phases. Core beliefs are how we see ourselves, each other, the world, and the future. The core beliefs of this methodology are based around the following: transparency, inclusion, structure, and trust. It is important that working together with a diverse group of individuals would create synergy and increase capacity. Knowing that we have an important plan to stick to that has been created also helps with structure. It's also important to be honest and be open with all participants and know that trust is huge and that we have the project's best interest at heart. Values guide the perspective of the project as well as its actions. When contributing individuals subscribe to a common set of values, they remain united when they hit a bumpy road. So the values of the methodology are anyone can come. Valuing community inclusiveness is important to this method. Collaboration, it is key. Therefore, we have a variety of individuals that collaborate on resources, synergy, awareness, and many other successes. Using transparency as an open culture of communication makes for happier individuals and more successful projects. So basing all of our interactions on transparency is very important. And lastly, participants' needs and concerns must be heard. Hear everybody. All participants have an empowered space to share their needs and concerns that need to be heard. Adrian's Action allows for a simple idea to be brought to life and executed not only correctly and intentionally, but also with a true sense of community. As Margaret Wheatley once stated, seeing with new eyes gives us the capacity to solve problems instead of creating more of them. This method allows us as a community to develop the confidence and strength necessary to persevere in the work that not only needs to be done, but should be done for the betterment of the place that we call home, while including all of the people right in the same place. My contact info is arbradley4@gmail.com should you have any questions about Adrian's Action. Thank you for listening.